What can leaders do to create a workplace culture that encourages authenticity and values diversity of thought and experience? Now, let me be honest here. I spent 21 years in the Royal Air Force. When I joined the Air Force 25 odd years ago, it was all about like-minded people, okay? And it was about leading like-minded people. But we now know the best teams are not made up of like-minded people. And we really want these people who don't think like us to show up as their whole selves. So let's be really clear on this. I think we're all learning on this one. And there are very few experts out there. I'd be skeptical if they did say that they were. But here's what I have learned. I've learned that whether we want to admit it or not, we tend to feel a little bit threatened by people who don't think like us. So I think we need to be prepared to do a little bit of inner work and acknowledge where our own unconscious biases are. Much easier to do the work here than to ask everybody out there to change. So first of all, let's start being honest with ourselves about our own unconscious biases. And then what we can do is we can start to turn that distrust or fear into curiosity. And one of the ways that we can put this into action is by asking a brave question. A brave question, quite simply, is one that invites dissent, and it's one that promotes divergent thinking. So you're inviting people to disagree with you, and you're inviting a wide variety of answers. So it's an open question. Now, there are lots of different examples of brave questions. Some of my favorites are these. What would you do if I wasn't the boss? Or what would you say to me if I wasn't the boss? How would you have done that differently? What am I missing? Or if this project or if this mission was a failure, what would some of the reasons be? Those are just some examples of some brave questions that you can start asking. The key really is to start practicing curiosity, because the more you practice it, the less kind of frightening it becomes. And then practice curiosity in terms of how you receive the answer. And then you're encouraging people to bring their whole selves to work. And you might learn a few things too.